Welcome back to Procurement Unplugged. In our last deep dive, we got to introduce you to autonomous negotiation agents,
Yeah.
ANAs, from Zycus, a real game changer. Today, we're going to take that a step further and talk about the impact that comes with moving something from being neglected to negotiated, and specifically how these agents that Zycus developed were able to pull in over $50 million in tail spend.
Yeah, it really is fascinating how Zycus has harnessed the power of AI bots to tackle a problem that's been around forever. And honestly, it's one of those problems that just drives you crazy, right?
I have to admit, before I really dug into the research for this, I kind of thought Tailspin was just like a, bunch of paper clips and coffee runs. But
Yeah.
but we're actually talking about millions of dollars in potential savings here. I mean, who wouldn't want a piece of that?
Yeah, exactly. But it's always been kind of this neglected area of procurement. And for years, there were really three main reasons why companies just look the other way.
Okay, so let's break those down. What exactly made tackling Tailspin such a pain?
Well, the first thing is just the sheer volume, right?
Mhm.
Imagine trying to manage thousands or even tens of thousands of tiny purchases from all sorts of different suppliers. If you're doing it manually, it's a total nightmare.
It sounds like herding cats.
It is, and that actually brings us to the second challenge, which is bandwidth. Procurement teams, they're already up to their eyeballs with those big ticket items, strategic sourcing. There's just no time to be chasing down every last paperclip.
Makes sense. And what was the third reason?
Data visibility. Traditional tools just weren't built to give you a clear picture of what was happening with tailspend. Companies were basically flying blind. They had no idea how much they were actually spending or where they could potentially be saving money.
So it sounds like companies weren't necessarily ignoring tailspend because they were lazy. They just didn't have the tools or the resources to manage it effectively.
You hit the nail on the head. They didn't have the how, not the will, but that's where AI changes everything. And specifically, those Zycus ANAs, those autonomous negotiation agents, are completely changing the game.
I'm really curious to hear about that case study you mentioned, the one where AI helped a company claw back over $50 million from their tailspend. How was that even possible?
Okay, so this was a global manufacturing company. They were spending more than $500 million annually on tail spend alone. And get this, our analysis showed that 25% of their purchases were non-compliant.
25%. So they were basically just tossing money away by not using their approved suppliers.
Exactly, and that's not even the worst part. 50% of their purchases were under-negotiated. That's where those bandwidth limitations really hurt them. They just didn't have the capacity to squeeze out the best possible deal on everything.
50% under-negotiated. Wow. No wonder they were leaving money on the table. So how did these AI agents come in and save the day?
Well, the impact was really quite remarkable. First, they were able to get price reductions of between 2 and 4% through something called auto-negotiation.
Wait, so you're telling me these AI bots are going back and forth with suppliers, actually haggling over prices?
Exactly. They use strategies that are set by the procurement team. They're like virtual negotiators working 24/7.
That's pretty cool. This is more than just automating tasks. This is like giving procurement teams superpowers.
Uh,
It's taking their ability to negotiate and secure better deals to a whole new level.
you got it. And the savings go way beyond just the price. The AI agents also went to work on consolidating suppliers. They were able to identify areas where there was redundancy and bundle purchases together, and that led to savings of another 1 to 2%.
So they're basically streamlining the supply base as well.
Mm,
Pretty smart.
very smart. And we can't forget about the efficiency gains. These AI-powered agents were able to save procurement teams more than 10 hours per week by taking over all those tedious manual tailspend tasks, and that translates to another 1 to 2% in savings.
That's huge. It's like giving those procurement professionals a 10-hour work week. Now they can focus on the stuff that really matters.
Exactly. And last but not least, the AI agents help to rein in maverick spend, all those unauthorized purchases from suppliers that aren't on contract. By making sure everyone was following compliance rules and guiding buyers to the right vendors, they saved another 0.5% to 1%.
So let me just make sure I'm following this. By implementing these AI agents, this company was able to reduce prices, consolidate their suppliers, boost efficiency, and control maverick spend. All of that added up to more than $50 million in savings in just 12 months. That's mind-blowing.
You got it. And the best part is, AI negotiation isn't just about squeezing out a few extra bucks on every purchase.
You're telling me there's more. Now, this is where things start to get really interesting.
Absolutely. For example, AI can be used to bundle purchases across different departments. It can tap into a company's collective buying power to get those really nice volume discounts.
So it's like AI is the ultimate negotiator, leveraging the purchasing power of the entire company.
Exactly. And it can even negotiate the terms of contracts. It can automatically adjust payment terms, delivery schedules, even SLAs, those service level agreements, to make sure the company is getting the best possible value.
So it's not just about getting the lowest price, it's about getting the best terms and conditions as well.
Right. AI can even find alternative suppliers, those hidden gems that are more cost effective, but they can still deliver the same level of quality.
It's like having an army of expert negotiators. These tireless, deal-hunting machines working around the clock to secure the best possible outcome.
That's a great way to put it. AI isn't here to replace procurement teams. It's giving them these superhuman capabilities,
Yeah.
allowing them to accomplish things that were basically considered impossible before.
This is really incredible, but I have to ask, how did these AI agents actually work in the real world? Can you walk me through the step-by-step process?
Sure. It all starts with a trigger, like a purchase request that someone in the company submits, maybe through an online catalog or a budget request.
So the AI is basically monitoring all of these channels, looking for potential procurement needs.
Precisely. And as soon as it spots something, it springs into action. It analyzes spending patterns, looks at historical data, even considers current market trends to figure out where there might be an opportunity to save money.
So it's like having this superpowered procurement analyst working behind the scenes.
That's a great analogy. The next step is supplier engagement. The AI automatically reaches out to a group of suppliers that have already been qualified, and it asks them to submit bids based on the specific requirements of the purchase.
So the AI is handling all of the communication with the suppliers, gathering bids, and then comparing all of the offers.
Yes, and it does it all much faster and more efficiently than any human could. Once all those bids are in, the AI agent moves into what we call the autonomous negotiation phase. This is where it uses those predefined negotiation tactics to try and get the very best deal.
Okay, now this is where things start to feel really futuristic. So the AI is actually going back and forth with these suppliers, making counteroffers, adjusting the terms, even pushing for concessions.
Exactly. And it does all of this within the limits that have been set by the procurement team.
That's amazing. It really is like having this tireless, super skilled negotiator working on your behalf 24/7.
That's a great way to think about it. And then once the negotiation is finished, the AI agent picks the winning offer, making sure that it fits within the budget and all those compliance policies. That last step just makes sure everything is on the up and up.
It's like this finely tuned machine churning out cost savings with incredible efficiency. How long does this whole process usually take?
That's the best part. From that initial trigger to the final decision, it can all happen in minutes, not weeks.
Wow, that's a dramatic improvement compared to those old school procurement processes. No wonder companies are seeing such significant savings.
Ab-
We've talked about the benefits and all, but I'm kind of curious about how they actually work. Like, can you walk us through the process step by step?
Yeah, sure. So it all starts with a trigger, like when someone in the company submits a purchase request. It could be through their online catalog or maybe a budget request.
So the AI is constantly on the lookout for any sign that somebody wants to buy something.
Exactly. And once it sees a potential purchase, the AI agent jumps right in. It starts analyzing spending patterns, looking at historical data, even taking into account market trends, all to see if there's a chance to save some money.
It's almost like having some kind of superpowered procurement analyst working behind the scenes.
That's a good way to put it. The next step is what we call supplier engagement. The AI agent will automatically reach out to a group of suppliers that have already been vetted and qualified, and it asks them to submit bids based on what the company needs for that specific purchase.
So it's handling all of the communication with the suppliers, gathering the bids, and then comparing all the offers.
Yep, and it does all that much faster and more efficiently than a human ever could. Then, once all the bids have come in, the AI agent moves into the negotiation phase.
Yeah, this is where it gets really interesting. So the AI is actually going back and forth with these suppliers, making counteroffers, changing the terms, even trying to get them to make concessions.
You got it. And it uses those predefined negotiation strategies and tactics we were talking about earlier, always staying within the boundaries that the procurement team has set.
It really is like having this tireless, super skilled negotiator that's working for you 24/7. But how does it know when to push harder and when to back off a little?
That's where things get really sophisticated. These AI agents are powered by machine learning algorithms, which means they actually learn and get better over time. They analyze past negotiations, look at market data, even study the behavior of individual suppliers to figure out how to refine their strategies and tactics.
So with every deal, they're learning and improving and getting even better at negotiating.
Exactly. And once that whole negotiation is wrapped up, the AI agent chooses the best offer, making sure it fits within the budget and follows all of the company's compliance policies.
It's a really smooth and efficient process, but what about the human element? I mean, are we risking losing the art of negotiation if we start relying too much on AI?
That's a good question, and it's a valid concern. But the way I see it, AI is really just a tool, a powerful tool, that can actually make humans better at what they do, not replace them altogether. Think of it like a superpowered assistant that handles all those time-consuming tasks, so that procurement professionals can concentrate on the more strategic parts of their job, the stuff that really matters.
So it's not about AI versus humans, it's more about AI and humans working together to get even better results.
That's it exactly. AI can analyze tons of data, spot patterns, and execute strategies way faster than any human ever could. But it's humans who bring that intuition and empathy and those relationship building skills, which are super important in complex negotiations.
So it's all about striking the right balance, taking advantage of what both AI and humans do best.
Exactly.
Phyllis, thank you so much for joining us on Procurement Unplugged.
It's been my pleasure.
Your insights have been invaluable.
Always happy to share my passion for the future of procurement.
And to our listeners, thank you for tuning in. We hope this deep dive has shed light on the transformative power of AI in procurement. Remember, the future is here, and it's brimming with exciting possibilities.